For the hour. From Los Angeles, the Tom Leykis Show. Jerry Garcia dead at 53 of what they call natural causes at a drug rehab center in Marin County in Northern California. We'll get to your calls about that in just a moment, but a message for you Southern California listeners. Because a number of people tune into our show in Los Angeles, and they say, hey, what's the deal here? You've done these listener events like in Seattle and in Palm Springs, Madison, Wisconsin. You've done them all around the country. How come you've never done one in Southern California? Actually, we did one when we first started, but it's been a long time. And so we are going to do a listener event, a listener party, but you must be one of the invitees to get in. But you can be one of the invitees. Now, let me tell you about the party, first of all. Real simple. It's going to be held in Santa Monica. And it's going to be at a place called Gotham Hall. It's on the 3rd Street Promenade in Santa Monica. Thursday, the 17th of August at, 7:30, or whenever I can get there. Till, who knows, 10, whatever. There's no cover charge. We don't charge for these things, okay? You can, just like in Seattle when we had a big thing at Tony Roma's, you just can come. But because Southern California is so big in this place, it's not going to be able to hold everybody who wants to come. You will have to be on the list to get in. But if you're listening now, you can get on the list. Now, here's the deal. No cover charge. Rhino Chasers beer will be on tap for $1 a beer if you're 21 and older. If you haven't tried Rhino Chasers yet, this is just one great beer, and we enjoy it around here. Now, Gotham Hall, what's going on there? It's going to be a party. They've got pool tables all over the place, but it doesn't look like your typical pool hall. They've got a fine dining restaurant, a dance floor, great selection at the bar, and we're just going to be hanging. Dooley's going to be there. Unlike the situation in Seattle where Dooley had to stay back here and screen calls. Mike Dooley will be there. Eric Braveman will be there. I'll be there. A bunch of the staff will be there, okay? And all you have to do to get invited is to call our number. You call, give us your name, your phone number, and we will call you back and let you know if you've made it onto the guest list. But here's the phone number to call. 310-840-4400. Don't call any other number. Do not call the radio station you're listening to. Do not call the network. Do not call Gotham Hall. Call this telephone number, 310-840-4400. We're taking names and phone numbers, and a certain number of people will be chosen off that list to come to our party, and you can be one of them. So it's Thursday, the 17th of August. Circle that date and call us, 310-840-4400, and come to our listener party in Southern California. Who knows when we'll do another one again? I don't care if you live in Bakersfield, Palm Springs, San Bernardino, Riverside, L.A., Orange County, San Diego, wherever you are, you can come to this party in Santa Monica. 310-840-4400. No charge for it, nothing. Anyway, that'll be fun. All right. Jerry Garcia, you know the deal. Let's go to the phones. 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. Let us start this hour with Chris, a first-time caller from Buffalo. Chris, you're on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi, Tom. How you doing?
Okay.
Well, I guess, first off, I heard your comments as you opened up the show, and I'd have to say that, there's nothing that any deadhead tonight's going to call you and tell you that's going to make you get it. You hit the nail on the head when you said, if you like it, it's like White Castle hamburgers. If you like it, you really like it. If you hate it, you really hate it. See, a lot of people don't know things about the Grateful Dead. Like, they were in debt until 1987. They re-released that song, Touch of Grey, on the album In the Dark and hit it big. I think they were more deserving than any other rock band I can think of to be, where they were at financially.
Well, who deserves it and why?
Well, I think the actual band members do because, they were a band that started in the 60s, as everyone knows, and were together for 30 years plus.
Why doesn't anyone who can get it deserve it?
Well, I guess that's a good point, but I think you were almost belittling the fact when you said, kind of shrugging off natural causes, that because he used chemicals, it was not natural causes. In fact, it was the drug.
Well, if you have a heart attack at 53 and you're in a drug rehab center, I think it would be a good guess that your regular use of narcotics would have an effect on whether or not you're going to have a heart attack.
I'm definitely not denying the fact that he used drugs. What I do...
and I'm not, again, I said myself, I used drugs as a kid, okay? So I'm not acting like I'm above Jerry Garcia. I'm just wondering why anyone would be surprised that, my God, he survived to 53 years old with the copious amounts of narcotics he used and the fact that he was a diabetic.
Well, Tom,
I'm surprised he lived that long.
Okay, he is a diabetic. Did you also know that he had a congenital heart problem?
Yes.
Okay, then obviously...
But that's the last person who ought to be using narcotics.
That was his choice, though. And
I understand that.
Well, see, with the way that you were talking about when you went to the show at the Meadowlands, you were saying, oh, well, it was... you gave the stereotypical review of what a Grateful Dead show is.
But what is it? What is a concert but what's going on stage?
Well, you were saying, oh, these songs didn't end for, you didn't think they were ever going to end. That was the Grateful Dead.
I understand. But I didn't understand what was good about it. I didn't get it. And I don't think I'm the only one.
Well, there are obviously many people, obviously all the people who reported this on the AP across the wires saying, that it was just, the psychedelic rock band Grateful Dead.
Yeah, I understand.
The Tom Leykis Show. When it's time for pizza, it's pizza time. For Lacey Pizza Time, call 491-1111. For Jefferson Street Pizza Time, 943-9020. To call ahead with your order or for fast, friendly delivery. Pizza Time is the perfect pizza for your office party, your church party, school party, or just to munch on at home when you don't want to cook. Whatever kind of gathering it is, it's Pizza Time. Jefferson Street Pizza Time in Olympia. Lacey Pizza Time is on Martin Way in the Tanglewild Shopping Center.
In West Olympia, there's a light blue house on the corner of 4th and Milroy, just off Black Lake Boulevard. The name of the house is called Samuel's West, and inside you'll find a fully trained staff of friendly professional stylists. Samuel's West is a full-service hair care salon. The staff and management at Samuel's West really listen to you, the customer. You'll look and feel great after coming out of that light blue house on 4th and Milroy in West Olympia. That's Samuel's West.
Wild Birds Unlimited.
Now open in West Olympia, Wild Birds Unlimited, your complete backyard bird feeding supply store. With bird feeders, bird houses, bird seeds, gifts, books, children's items, and more. They're in the Cooper Point Plaza, open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 7, Sundays noon till 4, bringing people and nature together.
Wild Birds Unlimited. We bring people and nature together.
Everyone knows about April showers, but May, June, July... We all know rain makes Washington green and beautiful, but even the most die-hard Northwest lover gets a little tired of it. Well, Olympia Federal Savings wants to give you a chance for a getaway to Kona on the gorgeous island of Hawaii. It's all part of the celebration of the new Yelm Highway branch, and you're invited. Get a free travel mug just for opening any new account. Check out the special rates on the grand opening CD and enter to win a grand prize trip out of the rain and into the lovely Hawaiian sunshine. Oh, and have a cup of coffee from the new coffee bar. Remember, if financial institutions were like coffee, we'd be the one that warms you up inside. Olympia Federal Savings, you sound a lot like us. FDIC insured, an equal housing lender.
Stop by any branch of Olympia Federal Savings August 14th through 18th and enter to win a Hawaiian vacation for two and lots of other great prizes.
Nothing satisfies during the warm summer months like a cool garden fresh salad. And a great place for salad is the Keg restaurant at the Capitol Mall in West Olympia. The Keg is proud of the 60-item salad bar they offer every day. In fact, the Keg was named Best Salad Bar in Evening Magazine's Best of Washington Viewers poll. Enjoy the all-you-can-eat Keg salad bar for just $3.99 7 days a week from 11 to 4, including the popular Caesar and hot spinach salads. The Keg at Capitol Mall for the best salad bar at a bargain price, $3.99 from 11 to 4 every day.
Join us weekday mornings on KCPL AM 920 for the Environmental Minute, brought to you by Nature Smart, featuring earth-friendly products for the home, garden, office, and your pets. Nature Smart, where it's easy to be a green consumer, right next to the Food Pavilion on the corner of Pacific Avenue and Lilly Road.
KCPL AM 920. Quick sports brief here. The Seattle Mariners Director of Player Development, Jim Beattie, says center field Ken Griffey Jr. is processing faster than expected. Griffey's been out with a broken wrist since May 26th, and Beattie says he may be back with the Mariners by Monday. Reminder, Mariners play tonight at the Dome at 7:35. KCPL AM 920, where we have Tom Leykis coming up next.
Serving Olympia, Lacey, Tumwater, and all of the South Sound. This is KCPL AM 920. When you want sports, you want more than just the scores. You want the stories behind the scores. At KCPL AM 920, we give you total sports coverage like no other Olympia radio station can. The Seahawks, the Mariners, the Sonics, the Rockets, St. Martin's and South Puget Sound, along with all the local high schools. KCPL gives you sports updates twice an hour during your morning and afternoon commute, along with sports at 35 past the hour all day long. The big plays, the leading scores, the keys to the game. Total sports coverage you won't find anywhere else. KCPL AM 920.
Before the hour. The Tom Leykis Show. Thanks for tuning in. Here we are, 1-800-5800-TOM. We continue with your telephone calls. Jerry Garcia of the Grateful Dead is dead at 53. He died of what they call natural causes at a drug rehab center in Marin County in Northern California. And I'm just trying to figure out what this is all about. Steve in Desert Hot Springs, California. You're on the Tom Leykis Show, Steve. Hello.
Good afternoon, Tom. I totally agree with you.
You do?
Yes. I had caught a couple of shows myself back in the mid-'70s. One at Englishtown Racetrack where they had like an acid detox tent. And one up at the Meadowlands myself.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I didn't understand it at the time. I even went at night to the rock movie. Remember the Dead had a rock movie?
Yes.
Remember those horrible rock movies they made in the 70s?
Oh, God, weren't they terrible?
Somebody ought to buy them, and they ought to run them on MTV to show these kids what they got today. But I'm really curious about whatever happened to them. They all got burned, I guess. But I went to the show, the same thing. You know, and I think the real reason that a lot of people go to the show and thought it was great, to be quite honest, was that everybody in the show, including me at the time, was loaded. You know, I mean, I never saw anybody sober in those shows, and everybody was always partying, and people were trying to relive the Halicon hippie days. You know, remember the girls that have the flower print dresses and be dancing on the stage? And
well, they were still doing that at Dead shows, weren't they?
Yeah, it was kind of like, you know, watching like a Sha Na Na concert, you know? It was like, I mean, I think,
oh, no. It was not like a Sha Na Na concert.
Well, in the sense that we have moved on. You know, this is all, they were trying to relive something that happened 30 years ago.
Well, exactly. I mean, in that it is kind of frozen in time, that for an awful lot of people, the world ended in 1970. I mean, that's what it strikes me as.
Yeah, I mean, I was just expecting to see Nehru jackets on sale, you know, after I walked out. And I did. I went to the whole thing. I went with a couple of guys who were just total Deadhead freaks and a couple of girls. And I just thought at the end of it, it was good. Some of the songs were pretty good, but it was boring. It was long. It was as hot as heck. And I don't know how they could have been in debt because they always were playing and they always made a lot of money. The tickets weren't cheap at those festival concerts. So
didn't a lot of people like crash at these concerts, though?
God, yeah, you know, they'd be guys, as I said, they had an LSD detox tent, you know, with a doctor there, and guys were like screaming and running around naked in the middle of the afternoon and stuff. And it was kind of like, you know, I guess it was trying to be a recreation of the Woodstock days. So I'm kind of fascinated myself, but they really did have an army. And plus, you know, one thing that's not brought out is that, you know, when you withdraw from drugs, too, a heart attack is a very common symptom.
Absolutely it is.
You know, and that's not being brought out. And the fact that he lived to 53 amazed me, you know. I'm always amazed that some of these old geezers make it that long. So I'll listen to the rest of the show, and you're doing a good job, and keep on trucking, as they would say.
Thanks a lot, Steve. Take care. 1-800-5800-TOM. Drew, first-time caller from Fort Wayne, Indiana. You're on the Tom Leykis Show, Drew. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, I don't know. I agree a little bit with what the guy was saying about the people there, but I wanted to say that the dead camps are really what keeps bringing the deadheads to it all the time.
The dead camps. Is this like a club?
Yeah, I guess it's modern day gypsies is what they are. You know, they follow the dead around and they set up camps, you know, in 3 or 4 days in advance before they show up to do the concert, and that's where the real party is. You know, people, you know, they're up all night.
It's all about partying.
That it's a lot about partying.
It's all about drugs.
Not all about drugs, no.
Drinking.
I would. There's some of that. but I don't. It's modern. It's the mystery of the gypsies, I guess. You know.
What's the mystery here?
Yeah, there's that mystique about that keeps the younger crowd following them around.
All right, so you're saying it was because you had these gypsies following them from town to town. That's what made it interesting.
No, not that made the show interesting.
Was the music that good?
The music was good, yeah.
That good? Come on. Every time I ask people about... Every time I ask... Well, let me just finish what I'm going to say, and then I'll let you get in here. Every time I ask deadheads about the music, they can't limit it to the music. They have to talk about the drugs. They have to talk about their friends and the other people they meet when they're at the show. But I keep going back to the music. Was it really that good? And people go, yeah. But I saw the music. I saw them in concert. It was okay. It didn't. Put it this way: it didn't offend me.
They have bad concerts.
Public Image Limited offended me. The Dead didn't offend me.
Okay. Well, they have bad shows too. Maybe you caught a bad night. That's all.
But I'm wondering, when it's good, what's good about it? Can you tell me?
They have a great drum solo. Nothing I've ever heard before in my life was 20 minutes long of a drum solo, and that is
20-minute drum solo.
Yeah, sensational.
And the fact that it's 20 minutes, why is that relevant?
Oh, just because it was long. I mean, it seemed like a long
And that's
time.
good.
Well, yeah, that was good. You didn't want it to stop.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm one who went to rock concerts in the 70s a lot, and I saw everybody from Eric Clapton to, I don't know, Elton John to J.J. Cale to all these people who were out and about in the 70s, all right? I'd right up to the Ramones towards the end of the 70s. And one of my least favorite parts of concerts was drum solos. It was like,
well, then...
I just didn't get it. I just didn't understand.
Did they have just really huge drums that vibrated your whole body when they pounded on them?
I'm sure some of them did, but again, I've just never seen a drum solo that made me go, "Oh my God, I've got to go back and see that."
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Usually, I saw a drum solo as the drummer doesn't get enough attention during the show. Because there's a lead singer and there's a lead guitarist, and they write the songs usually, and so they give the drummer this kind of token appearance where they put the spotlight on him and he drums like crazy and gets this requisite ovation that goes with that. But
they'd have two drummers doing this, and going crazy on their drums. That was neat. Plus they could go from one song to another, and it's just a smooth transition. They didn't stop, collect any applause. They just kept right on going to the next song and blended it in real kind of neat. And
so they were that good.
They were good, yeah. They were really good.
Okay. I'm just checking. I'm not trying to be difficult here, but I've just never gotten it.
Yeah, well, that's... I'm sorry for you. Can we... I think... have we had a moment of silence for Jerry, or...
Would Jerry want a moment of silence?
Yeah,
of all
true.
people.
Yeah, it's a deep thought.
Thanks, Drew.
All right, thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. 19 minutes before the hour. My name is Tom Leykis.
This is the Tom Leykis Show.
Right now, everything's on sale at the Home Life Furniture Store and Sears Furniture Departments. Save 20 to 40% on all furniture, all sofas, sleepers, and sectionals, all mattresses, chairs, and recliners. It's all on sale. Special purchase and value-priced items not included. Save on your entire furniture wish list. Hurry in for your best selection. Save 20 to 40% through Sunday, August 27th at the Home Life Furniture Store from Sears and Sears Furniture Departments. Contact stores for availability.
Like a mild diaper rash. It's probably irritating.
Then Juliana Quisling of Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin, discovered Baby Gold Bond medicated powder.
The Baby Gold Bond, it helps clear it up and helps prevent it because it has zinc oxide in it.
Baby Gold Bond relieves baby's red, irritated skin and helps prevent diaper rash with medication ordinary baby powders don't have.
Baby Gold Bond. I use it more like a preventative now because her diaper rash is gone.
Baby Gold Bond medicated powder at drugstores and supermarkets everywhere. Use only as directed.
What makes Cascade New Church different? Listen to what Kurt Walter, a computer consultant, says.
You know, what I hear at Cascade New Church makes a lot of sense. I learned tools I can use in my everyday life.
If you've been looking for a Christian church that makes sense, Cascade New Church invites you to discover a refreshing, common-sense approach to spirituality and how it can benefit your life. Cascade New Church at University Heights Center, University Way Northeast, just north of Northeast 50th. They meet Sunday mornings at 10:30. Come this Sunday for some new ideas, or call 882-8500 for a free pamphlet.
In a clandestine lab beneath the streets of downtown Seattle, a series of bizarre experiments is underway.
You got it! Life! Give me life!
The moss-laden walls begin shuddering and a new entity is born. The Buzz 100.7 FM and their weekday lineup.
Dr. Laura, Tom Leykis!
And thus, talk radio with attitude was born. The Buzz 100.7 FM.
Now, to finding a mate!
Look at a picture of your kids or your parents on their 20th wedding anniversary. Think back to your first love or drive by the house you were raised in. Thoughts and images like these stir feelings deep in our hearts. But you can't always feel what's happening deep in your heart until it's too late. Coronary artery disease is a silent killer. Too often, its first and only symptom is a fatal heart attack. Now we have an early warning system, the Coronary Artery Disease Risk Assessment Program at HeartScan Seattle. We check your cholesterol and the other important risk factors and take a coronary artery scan, a picture that can reveal coronary artery disease well before any symptoms. In time for you and your doctor to do something about it. Please call HeartScan Seattle at 1-800-469-HEART. 1-800-469-HEART. Now there's a way to know if you or someone you love is at risk. Now you need only look into your heart.
Nighttime is the right time on The Buzz. After Tom, catch Dr. Laura at 7, followed by Jim Bohannon, here on The Buzz 100.7 FM.
16 minutes before the hour. From Los Angeles, the Tom Leykis Show. Thanks for tuning in. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Jerry Garcia, dead at 53 of what they call natural causes. He was in a drug rehab center in Northern California. Carolyn, a first-time caller from Seattle. You're on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Okay. You think I'm crazy here?
You know what? I totally agree with exactly what you're saying. We went to the Grateful, my boyfriend and I went to a Grateful Dead concert when they were recently here in Seattle, and we have friends that love them, and they, like, begged us to come. So we finally went, and we were, like, the only sober people there, and we were just like, what is going on? There were people dancing all over the place, and, I mean, we're not any social prudes, but it was more of, like, a social phenomenon, you know? It was like they were getting drunk off the music or something. It was funny.
Are there any black deadheads?
You know what? I didn't see any.
I've never met one. I mean, I always wondered if there were any.
Well, I want to know what's going on with the dogs. I mean, we went to the camps outside there, and it's like everybody had, like, dogs and puppies, like, walking all over the place, and we were, like, wondering what was the connection.
Dogs.
Yeah, dogs. It was like everybody had a dog, and, you know, everybody was selling food, and then everybody had a dog.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But so now you listen to the music. Did you have the same reaction I did?
Well, yeah, exactly. And I was like wondering when he was ever going to talk, because he never talked or he never really sang. Because I always thought, I guess I had this preconceived notion that he was like, you know, this great person that was just going to talk and say really, you know, deep things. And, you know, he never even really spoke the whole time
he mostly didn't throughout his career.
Well, I was shocked. I mean, it was really, I have to respect, like, the other callers were saying the band, they were really old and have been there for a long time, but it was really strange. It was like walking back into the 60s, and I used to, like, kind of think the 60s were really cool because I'm younger, and, you know, you kind of always aspire to the, you know, those days, and I just kind of had a really different perspective from it after going there. I was thinking, yuck, they were dirty.
Carolyn, thank you.
Sure.
Appreciate the call.
Hi.
Tom, first-time caller from Santa Barbara. You're on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello, Tom. Pleasure to talk to you.
Thanks for calling.
I'm a big Dead fan, and I'm a big Leykis fan.
Cool.
So I thought I'd give you a call today because it is a tough day for us. And first thing I want to say is that obviously natural causes is a very polite way of saying that Jerry drugged himself and ate himself to death, and it's a very sad thing, but, you know, that's just the way it is, and most of us have sort of been preparing for this day, you know, for the last few years. He had a couple of near-death experiences in '86 and again in '92, so we've been through this before, and, the day finally arrived. So, I know that you're not trying to be mean, but at the same time, the natural causes thing is a polite way of saying his body gave out after being rode hard and put away wet.
Mm-hmm.
My friends and I have a little joke. It's kind of like dog years and Jerry years. Like 1 year for a human is 7 years for a dog. 1 year for a human is a year and a half for Garcia because he just kind of lived a little bit harder than most. So by that standard, he made it to 80.
Now, would Jerry Garcia make a good role model?
Absolutely not, and he never, ever presented himself as such, Tom.
I understand that he didn't. In fact, he really didn't have a whole lot to say, at least in interviews. He said it all on stage in terms of music. Now,
exactly.
But I have met people and spoken to people on the air who have said that they use the word worship, or even want to emulate Jerry Garcia.
That is their problem. It's not something he ever encouraged. In fact, it's something that he actively discouraged. He said, Jerry Garcia, he didn't take good care of himself. He used a lot of drugs. He broke the law many, many times and in many ways, had some extramarital affairs, not at all a moral paradigm, and he never, ever tried to set himself up like that. But he can't control 100,000 people out there who are going to do what they're going to do. Some deadheads, I admit, basically that's what they have as part of their life, and it's such an important part of their life that it takes on this religious kind of zeal. And
religious? Now, this is interesting. I mean, why didn't people follow... Let's just pick a name that would be obviously funny,
Clapton.
The Eagles.
Yeah, fine.
Why didn't people follow the Eagles around like that?
All right, here's the deal, Tom, and you haven't touched on this yet. The Grateful Dead, they're something like a Rorschach. They're kind of like a blank slate. They stand there and they play their songs. There's no fireworks. There's no dry ice. There's no smoke pots. They don't say hardly anything to the audience ever. They just stand there in very pedestrian clothes. They don't jump around. They just play their songs. Therefore, we have a lot more latitude as to how we interpret that and the importance that we put on it in our lives. And some people have just decided to make this a huge thing. The Eagles every night play the same gig. You can go to 10 Eagles shows in a row and see the same show 10 nights in a row. You can go to 10 Grateful Dead shows and you will see 10 completely different shows. But
were they that good, all 10 shows?
No, some of them really suck, and some of them are great, and that's why you keep going back, because you always want to catch that great show. It's just one of those things where people have put into it so much, that people have invested so much that it's unhealthy, and I hope I'm not one of those people. I think I'm dealing with this pretty well today. I knew it was going to happen, but there are those souls out there, and Jerry has warned them as best he could in interviews, warned them to sort of get a life, and he even said, an interviewer asked him once, what about all these people who worship you? And Jerry's words, I think, were, they better start stashing something because, it's not going to last forever, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, don't these people realize, you got to get a life? You got to make a living somewhere along the line?
I hope that, let's just say that we might have been going to hell in a bucket, but at least we were enjoying the ride. That was one of their songs. And now that the ride is over, let's hope that some of these folks can pick up and move on and get a life themselves. Chances are, though, they'll probably just find somebody else like Fish to follow around who are sort of a younger version of the Dead. So, but, those are those people, and they have that sort of addictive thing, and they always have to attach themselves to other things. It's one of the struggles of, I think, human existence is to be happy and be pleased with who you are and where you are, and see, I think there was a lesson to the Grateful Dead, and the lesson is not worship and me and be like me. The lesson is enjoy what you're doing and do it the best you can. That's what they did.
Thank you, Tom.
Okay.
Appreciate the call.
Talk to you later.
1-800-5800-TOM, 9 minutes before the hour. My name is Tom Leykis.
You're listening to the Tom Leykis Show.
Right now, everything's on sale at the Home Life Furniture Store and Sears Furniture Departments. Save 20 to 40% on all furniture, all sofas, sleepers, and sectionals, all mattresses, chairs, and recliners. It's all on sale. Special purchase and value-priced items not included. Save on your entire furniture wish list. Hurry in for your best selection. Save 20 to 40% through Sunday, August 27th at the Home Life Furniture Store from Sears and Sears Furniture Departments. Contact stores for availability.
What's better than a good thing?
How about twice as much of it? Bring any size roll of film to Kmart this Wednesday or Saturday, and you can get 2 sets of prints for the price of 1. They're big 4-inch prints, too. Of course, you wouldn't want 2 bad prints in any size, so you'll like Kmart's goof-proof policy. You only pay for the ones you keep. Double 4-inch prints at Kmart. You can't get too much of a good thing.
Everything we do spins around you. It's Kmart.
Sears and Michelin revolutionized driving in 1965 when they introduced radial tires to America. And to celebrate this 30th anniversary, Sears is having their biggest Michelin sale ever. Michelin's for passenger cars, sports cars, light trucks, and sport utility vehicles are all 5 to 20% off, including Sears exclusive Michelin road handlers at their lowest prices of the year. You won't find this kind of deal at any tire store. Only at Sears through August 19th. Get the Michelins you need at the price you want at Sears Auto Center today.
Like a mild diaper rash. It's probably irritating.
Then Juliana Quisling of Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin, discovered Baby Gold Bond medicated powder.
The Baby Gold Bond, it helps clear it up and helps prevent it because it has zinc oxide in it.
Baby Gold Bond relieves baby's red, irritated skin and helps prevent diaper rash with medication ordinary baby powders don't have.
Baby Gold Bond. I use it more like a preventative now because her diaper rash is gone.
Baby Gold Bond medicated powder at drugstores and supermarkets everywhere. Use only as directed.
We're here again trying to stump Lynn Gilman, stockbroker.
The Federal Reserve Board.
Lynn?
Buy low, sell high.
Lynn?
What?
New set of questions here. Lynn, what makes a stock go up?
Good products, good margins, good management.
What's a dividend?
A payment to shareholders from a company's earnings.
Okay, what's the easiest way to make an in-state long-distance call?
Gosh, I don't know.
Well, with US West, you just dial 1 plus the number you're calling.
That's simple.
And there are long-distance calling plans that can save someone who's on the phone a lot 15 to 40% each month. If you qualify, we'll make certain we find the right one that fits your calling patterns.
Hey, great.
And this isn't some special offer for a limited time. Just call the Small Business Group at 1-800-603-6000 for more info.
Couldn't be easier.
Long-distance calling plans from the Small Business Group at US West. You know your business, and we know ours. Is that a bull market I smell?
No, I think you stepped in something.
Restrictions apply. Interstate and interstate calls beyond your US West calling area will be handled by your pre-selected long-distance company.
She's like rock and roll, but without the music. Catch Karen Grace and find out what we mean. Weekdays at 9 on The Buzz, 100.7 FM.
Minutes before the hour, the Tom Leykis Show. Mario, first-time caller from Tucson. You're on the Tom Leykis Show. Hi, Mario.
Hi, how you doing?
Okay.
I'm sick of deadheads myself. It's like when I went to college, it was like it was a packaged rebellion for them to. They already had their way of dress, their behavior, their hairstyle, their clothing. It's like instead of rebelling, we can join this club and be rebels. And after we're college, we can go out and be the lawyers and CPAs that we wanted to be in the first place.
Right. Many people I know who are deadheads actually go to work in business suits and short hair, and then they go out and follow the dead on weekends. It's weird. It's like, well, we want to rebel, but not that much.
Yeah, exactly. You know, my former ex-brother-in-law, you know, he was Mr. Hippie, and then Mr. Deadhead, smoking pot, out of college. Suddenly he's a CPA, and now he's a Republican voter all the way. Whatever happened to all that rebellion, you know, of his college's years?
I think that's a reasonable question, Mario, and I thank you for a good call. Let's say hi here to Mary, a first-time caller from Auburn, California. Mary, you're on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi, Tom.
Hi, Mary.
First time.
I'm glad you called.
Well, I guess they call those Republicans yuppies, right?
I don't know who they call yuppies because that was a term originated by the late Jerry Rubin.
Well,
the former yippie.
I don't know who Jerry Rubin is.
Oh, boy. Well, Jerry Rubin was like a big name during like the Woodstock era.
Uh-huh.
He was one of the group called the Chicago 7, which was not a music group. It was a group of people who were in trouble with the law. And Jerry Rubin was one of those, along with Abby Hoffman and a bunch of other folks. Back during the Chicago Democratic Convention in 1968. But read your history books on that. Anyway.
That was before my time.
There you go. But anyway.
Were you at Englishtown, New Jersey?
Were you at Englishtown, New Jersey in 1977 when the Dead played there?
No, it was not Englishtown, New Jersey. Isn't that like a speedway of some kind in Englishtown, New Jersey? National Speedway or something? Mm-hmm. No, I was at the Meadowlands, which is in Hackensack.
Oh, the Meadowlands.
Right.
No wonder you didn't enjoy it.
Wait a minute. What, do I have to be at a racetrack to enjoy the Dead?
Well, I didn't enjoy the racetrack one either.
Oh, where would you...
go to, like, the Greek Theater or Cal Expo or the Shoreline Amphitheater. That's more enjoyable.
And then you would enjoy it more.
Mm-hmm.
The music would be different?
It wouldn't be so crowded.
The crowd didn't bother me.
Oh, the music bothered you?
It just didn't do anything for me. You know what? It didn't offend me.
It didn't offend you?
But it didn't do anything for me.
And what year did you see them last?
Early 80s.
Early 80s?
Yeah.
Oh, well, see, there were some...
I saw them the wrong year?
Yeah, kind of.
Oh, so let's see. I saw them the wrong year at the wrong venue. That was the... If I had seen them at the Greek Theater in 1991, they would have been a lot better.
No. Greek Theater in like any time at the Greek Theater, because they weren't allowed to play at the Greek Theater anymore. But when they were there, it was just wonderful.
It was?
Yeah.
And that was the problem. It's the venue.
It was the venue.
The music would have seemed a lot better had I been at the Greek Theater.
Mm-hmm.
But not the Meadowlands.
Or Cal Expo.
Cal Expo's pretty big.
Cal Expo's not that big.
I've been to Cal Expo.
They didn't play Cal Expo this year. They've only played Shoreline. So everybody that...
So you've been following them around. You know a little too much about this, Mary.
Well, I live in California, and I've been seeing them.
I live in California, too.
Well, I've been seeing them since 77. My boyfriend brought me to see them at Rutgers University in New Jersey.
They were good there?
It wasn't the Grateful Dead. It was Jerry Garcia Band, but Jerry Garcia Band had most of the Grateful Dead playing in it.
Yeah, you got to wonder how the hell you can tell the difference.
The Tom Leykis Show.
We'll continue our conversation about the Grateful Dead. Jerry Garcia, dead today at 53 of what they call natural causes, suspected to be a heart attack in a drug rehab center in Marin County in Northern California. By the way, Southern California listeners, we have our big Leykis listener party coming up in Santa Monica on the 17th of August. For details, call 310-840-4400. Stay tuned. There's more to come on the Tom Leykis Show.
Morning guy Pat Cashman, but you can just call him Mr. Sunshine. Weekday mornings on The Buzz, 100.7 FM. KIRO FM Seattle.
CBS News, I'm Ed Crane. America mourns a rock icon.
Driving that train, pound cocaine.
Jerry Garcia, founding member and leader of the Grateful Dead, died today at a California drug treatment center, apparently of a heart attack. He was 53. Garcia had a history of drug and weight problems over the years, but had been making a concerted effort in recent months to get clean and slim down. Band member Bob Weir got the news in New Hampshire, where he says a scheduled concert tonight will go on as a tribute to Garcia.
Remember that his life was far more a blessing for all of us. And I think we should, perhaps, if we're going to dwell on anything, dwell on that.
Garcia's last performance with the Grateful Dead came July 9th at Chicago's Soldier Field. Former White House counsel Bernard Nussbaum defended his actions in the aftermath of the Vince Foster suicide today, telling a House panel investigating the Whitewater affair the former Clinton counsel's suicide note did not suggest the land deal was among the reasons Foster took his life.
Whitewater was also not mentioned in Vince's now famous torn-up writing found in the bottom of his briefcase. Vince did in that writing list a number of things that were bothering him. Whitewater was not one of them.
Mickey Mantle remains hospitalized in Dallas, where doctors report cancer has now spread beyond his liver and lungs. The 63-year-old baseball great is also suffering from anemia. One cancer researcher who examined Mantle last week says of his condition, he's in big trouble. A returning diplomat raises new concerns about atrocities in the former Yugoslavia. Correspondent Mark Noller explains.
The U.S. egregious human rights violations there. A White House statement says Shattuck heard eyewitness accounts of mass executions, beatings, rape, and other atrocities. The White House says all the information Shattuck received will be turned over to the International Tribunal investigating and prosecuting those responsible for war crimes in Bosnia.
A car bomb killed a Montreal motorist today and injured 2 passers-by. Police in that Canadian city see a possible gang connection. Evan Dyer has more.
Police are hinting that it may have to do with bike gang war. Montreal is known for having very violent bike gangs who are heavily involved in the drug trade and other forms of organized crime. They have used this method in the past to eliminate their enemies. At the moment, there's a large trial on where one particular biker has turned evidence against a number of his former mates.
The average issue lost 7 cents on Wall Street, where the Dow Industrials gave up 22 points, but investors in a new issue could have made a healthy one-day profit. The software company Netscape offered at $28 a share, surged to $75 in early trading, then dropped down to a closing $58.25. The company's created a program that offers a computer user easier access to the Internet. This is CBS News.
We all listen to our doctors when they tell us the key to good health is exercise, proper eating, and taking vitamins. The trouble is, which vitamin is right for you? Immunogen is an all-natural supplement that goes beyond normal vitamins because Immunogen combines vitamins with a specially concentrated mixture of natural herbs. You know, you don't have to be sick to want to feel better. So remember to always follow your doctor's advice. And remember to take Immunogen, the little red herbal vitamin that helps the body protect itself. You'll find Immunogen at Kmart, Revco, CVS, and Osco.
When you named your ficus, nobody took you seriously. But now you want to buy a house, and not being taken seriously is the last thing you need, which is why Countrywide is offering the Show the World You're Serious About Buying a Home program. In 20 minutes, we can approve you and lock you into a low rate before you start to look. It's like having the cash in hand. For more details, call us at 800-EASY-877. That's 800-EASY-877. We'll give you all the respect you've been missing. Countrywide Home Loans. Easy. Really. Equal housing lender. Some restrictions apply.
Surgeons may soon have a larger pool of kidney donors. Researchers writing in the New England Journal of Medicine say spouses of would-be transplant recipients are nearly as good a source for donor kidneys as those with similar genetic makeup, such as parents or siblings. Only about half of the nation's kidney transplant centers now allow spouse donors, citing ethical concerns. Defense efforts to prove a police conspiracy were dealt a setback by Simpson trial judge Lance Ito. Today he ruled the defense can't question 2 Los Angeles reporters about the sources who leaked reports of a DNA match of Nicole Brown Simpson's blood to a stain found on one of O.J. Simpson's socks even before DNA tests were completed. You've heard of college football teams shooting for a trip to the Rose, Sugar, or Orange Bowls. This season, the Fiesta Bowl is the place to play. Frito-Lay has signed a 3-year sponsorship deal that makes the Phoenix-based game the richest of the postseason bowls. Competing teams will split at least $17 million come January 1996. I'm Ed Crane, CBS News.
It's 4:05 on the Buzz 100.7 FM. I'm Sue Romero. Some good news for you. No reported accidents or stalls blocking the roadways at this hour. We do have the usual slow stuff, though. Eastbound 520, that backup begins backed up onto I-5, so definitely take eastbound 90 across the lake this afternoon. Westbound 520, a little slow from 84th out to the bridge. Southbound on 405 still slows from just south of Park Drive down to the Valley Freeway, and northbound on 405 slow now from 160th north of Totem Lake up to 195th in Beardsley. Now the Buzz on weather for this afternoon, sunny and warmer with highs in the upper 70s. Right now it's 74 in Seattle. This check on traffic is a service of the Washington State Department of Transportation. Most of the accidents in highway work zones are rear enders. The DOT reminds you to keep plenty of space between yourself and the car in front of you. Slow down and give them a break. I'm Sue Romero for the Buzz.
From Los Angeles, it's the Tom Leykis Show.
Oh, God.
And now, he is Tom Leykis.
6 minutes after the hour, thank you for tuning into the Tom Leykis Show. This is where America gets together to talk about the issues you really care about. It's a different kind of a radio talk program. We're the radio talk show that is not hosted by a right-wing wacko or a convicted felon. No. I am your host. Write down our toll-free telephone number. You're going to need it. It's 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866. Thank you for tuning in. Jerry Garcia of the Grateful Dead died today at age 53 of what they're calling natural causes, rumored to be a heart attack, in a drug rehab center in Northern California, Marin County. And As I stand here in Southern California, large numbers of people are showing up at a vigil in Griffith Park, which is the largest. I don't know if you know about Griffith Park. Griffith Park is my neighborhood. I live up there. And Griffith Park is the largest public park in America. And already people have begun filling up Griffith Park for this big vigil in honor of Jerry Garcia. I don't know what's happening there. I don't know if it's going to be anything but people getting together and hanging out or being quiet or playing music. I don't know. It's probably going to be all of that, I imagine. And I know a lot of people are very upset. And I want to make it very clear to you that I do not mean to demean Jerry Garcia or the Grateful Dead or to give you a hard time on a day when a lot of people are just bummed. There are just things about the Grateful Dead I have never understood, and I guess that you either get them or you don't, and I'm one of the ones who never did. I get a lot of other things maybe, but this is something I've never gotten. I was watching the local TV newscast here in Los Angeles, and they were asking various Deadheads what Jerry meant to them. And people were saying things like, Jerry is a god. What? And he kept repeating it over and over. He's a god, man. He's a god. Jerry's a god. He was an inspiration, somebody said. It doesn't seem to me that the people who followed the Dead were inspired to do anything but follow the Dead. I mean, what were Deadheads inspired to by Jerry Garcia? I don't get it. Excuse me for being dopey. I don't understand. I'm never happy to see somebody die, especially someone who so many people love like Jerry Garcia. Don't misunderstand where I'm coming from on this. What, was he a god? Was he an inspiration? To do what? Most people I know who are Deadheads were inspired to, like, you know, not have jobs, drive around the country, bum money from people. A lot of the people I knew who were Deadheads, that's what they were inspired to do. Some of them were inspired to do drugs, like Jerry. I don't get it. I've never gotten it. I'd like to know if you got it, or if you didn't. Here's our toll-free telephone number from across North America. It's 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866. Evan is a first-time caller from Bend, Oregon. Evan, you're on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi, Tom. Thanks for taking the call.
Sure.
This is really a sad day, and it's one that I've kind of expected for a while. You mentioned, what were we inspired by? And I think that we were inspired by the way he played his music.
You were inspired to what, though? I mean, to what end were you inspired?
You could be inspired to be happy or be inspired to feel close to someone because they make you feel good. And Jerry made people feel good. He actually gave so much of himself. He was so enthusiastic about what he was doing that it gave you a warm feeling. And to be among so many people that were enjoying the same thing you were is a great feeling.
Was the music that good?
The music was all that it was about. It wasn't about rebelling. It wasn't about peace and love. It wasn't about drugs, although sometimes maybe it was. But it was about the music. That's what the band did it for.
But was it that... no one wants to answer this question.
Yes, it was that.
It was that good.
Yes, it was that.
Was it better than most music out there? Was it the best music there is?
I think it was the best music that you could possibly find.
Period.
Absolutely.
Tchaikovsky, Beethoven.
I'm not saying that may not
Aaron
be the
Copland
best at the time, but you couldn't go see them.
Paul McCartney and John Lennon. Better than anything.
Better than anything.
Really?
And the fact that you could go see it and have them play it for you with the enthusiasm that they did, with the commitment that they did, made it absolutely fantastic.
If it was so good, let me ask, I'm not being disrespectful. I just want to understand. I really do. That's why I'm not arguing with you about it. I just want to understand. If it was so good, why didn't they sell more albums?
Well, That's a good question, because I think their live performance was that much better than what they were able to reproduce in the studio. And you ask Arista if they're not selling their records. I think they're doing pretty good with them still.
I think their first platinum record was in 1987.
Yeah, that's true. But they've
been around for, 30 years?
They're 30 years.
Well, 30 years, and it took them until 8 years ago to have a platinum record.
Well, you're comparing a live band and you're trying to put them on a platinum record. You already said that they were the top-grossing band in America.
They were the top-grossing concert act in America last year.
So
not every year, but last year.
Well, they were in the top 3 for the last several, probably since 87.
Mm-hmm.
So what does that say about them then?
It says there's a lot of people who want to go out and do drugs and bring their dogs out there and hang out and drive their vans around and that kind of thing. I mean, that's what it said.
Focusing on the negative.
Does it say that but does it say that the music was good, or does it say there's a bunch of people who feel like they were born too late for the 60s and they watch these films of Love-Ins and Woodstock and they feel like they missed out on that, so they go to see the Grateful Dead because they missed out on the 60s?
Well, you can certainly put some type of social commentary like that on a big scene like that. And yes, there were people that did that, but there were just as many people that didn't do that, like you said, had real lives, real jobs, that just went to go and be inspired by the band.
Inspired?
And that's why?
I mean, I listen to music all the time, and I rarely find it inspiring. I find it fun to listen to, interesting, enjoyable. Inspiring is rarely a word I would associate with music. If I was inspired, to me, the word inspiration means to be inspired to, like, create, inspired to do good, inspired to, like some special inspiration.
Tom, haven't you listened to some music and been just grabbed by it until you got goosebumps, and just till you felt something was so... It gave you this warm feeling that you got shivers from it. Haven't you ever experienced music that way?
I have. But I wouldn't call it inspiring necessarily.
Oh, well, then maybe we're using the wrong word. But it gave you a warm feeling. It made you feel glad to be there. It made you feel good about it.
Is Jerry Garcia a god?
No, Jerry wasn't a god, and I would never insult him by calling him a god.
People have said that. In fact, they're saying it today on the news, on TV.
Well, no, I don't think so. But he was a very talented person. He was a very humble man, and he was very, very intelligent. There are some interviews out there where you can listen to him talk, and he was extremely intelligent. And he had a lot of interesting...
I never, ever meant to imply that Jerry Garcia was not a very intelligent man. I believe he...
But he was well-spoken.
I believe he was well-spoken and intelligent. He didn't say much, but that didn't mean he couldn't.
He didn't say much on stage, but when he had the right audience, you couldn't stop him. He talked quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot more to it than just the negative things that I think you're focusing on.
Well, I don't know necessarily that they're negative. I mean...
Well, bringing your dogs to concerts, taking drugs for 2 weeks.
Well, there are people who want to do that.
But that still could be perceived as being negative.
But an awful lot of people at Dead concerts did that.
That's definitely true, but a lot don't.
They didn't really have a lot of corporate box seats at the Dead concerts, you know what I'm saying?
Well, there were more suits around there.
They didn't exactly have the American Express Gold Card special for people at those concerts.
Well, there were more of them than I think you saw, probably. And you were there, right? A lot of people went just to see what it was about.
I did. I went once. I did go once.
Anyway, Tom, it's a sad day, and that's all I wanted to say. I hope Jerry has a good afterlife, and we'll miss him very much.
Thanks, Evan.
All right, Tom.
Appreciate the call. Bye-bye. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Is this Mika or Micah?
It's Mika.
Mika, first-time caller from Seattle. Hi.
I just want to tell you, I love your show.
Thank you.
And I listen to it every day.
Cool.
And I agree with you on pretty much everything. I don't see what the big deal is about the Dead. I've never gone to a show. And I asked one of my girlfriends who goes, and she follows them in Oregon and, like, Northern California, and when they come to Seattle.
She follows them?
Yeah.
What does she do for a living?
Well, this is the funny thing. She's a college graduate, and we haven't talked in a while, but the last time I heard she was working for a radio station.
She's working for a radio station. Now, how did she explain to the radio station that she needed time off to go follow the Dead?
I think she'd always take, like, a long weekend.
I see.
So she wouldn't leave during the week.
Uh-huh.
And I said, God, what is so big about the dead? I said, I just don't get it. And she's like, well, let me tell you, you're at this concert. Everyone is just getting along. There's wine going all over. There's people feeding you grapes, and on and on. I was like, yeah. And I don't get it either.
But see, when you ask them about the music, they go, oh, but the people are there, and they love each other, and they eat grapes. And well, what about the music? Oh, they bring their dogs, and they do drugs. But what about the music? Well, I
know. I agree. And also, I agree with your comment on, I think there's a lot of people who, young people, I'm only 25, and I think they're missing the 60s. It's like, the 60s are over. We need to move on.
Yeah, they watch MTV, and they see, like, the movie Woodstock, and they go, God, I wish I was there.
I know. It's just a big muddy, pit. I don't understand. I mean, probably at the time it was real great, but this, like, they tried to do Woodstock too. It's not the same. And I mean, I think it's sad that Jerry Garcia died. I like the Grateful Dead. I would never probably have gone to see them because it just didn't look like, everyone's dancing around, a bunch of hippies, and it's just not my thing.
I like the Grateful Dead. I like garlic mashed potatoes. I like blue skies and puppy dogs, but I mean, that's about all I can say.
Let me just say, the only person I've ever said anything about the music is I have a 40-year-old brother who's really into music, and he doesn't do drugs or anything like that. And he said the music is great, and they never played the same set twice. So he went to both shows when they were in Seattle, and both of them were different.
But you know what? Jazz is like that.
Right.
Why isn't jazz that popular?
I don't know. I don't know what it is about the Grateful Dead. I think it's just it gives people the opportunity to just kind of drop out, and
they want to be in like one of those old grainy films of Haight-Ashbury,
right, and a lot of them are like young people, and I just don't get it. It's like, I don't know. I mean, I don't consider myself like a young yuppie or anything like that. I mean, I just don't get it. I can't imagine having a life like that, but it takes all types, so.
There you go. Well, thanks very much, Mika.
Thanks a lot.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye. 18 minutes after the hour. My name is Tom Leykis, and we will continue.
Coast to Coast, the Tom Leykis Show.
Swollen, red, and itchy. Diaper rash.
Then Ann George of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania discovered Baby Gold Bond medicated powder.
I picked the Baby Gold Bond. He was relieved. The itching was stopped, and he was happy.
Baby Gold Bond relieves baby's red, irritated skin and helps prevent diaper rash with medication ordinary baby powders don't have.
Baby Gold Bond. It's keeping him dry, drier. It's putting like a protective barrier between him and his diaper.
Baby Gold Bond medicated powder at drugstores and supermarkets everywhere. Use only as directed.
Right now, everything's on sale at the Home Life Furniture Store and Sears Furniture Departments. Save 20 to 40% on all furniture, all sofas, sleepers, and sectionals, all mattresses, chairs, and recliners. It's all on sale. Special purchase and value-priced items not included. Save on your entire furniture wish list. Hurry in for your best selection. Save 20 to 40% through Sunday, August 27th at the Home Life Furniture Store from Sears and Sears Furniture Departments. Contact stores for availability.
I had the skin rash. It itched and burned. It was very uncomfortable.
That's James Dixon of Port St. Lucie, Florida.
I had been a Cortisone 10 user, but now I use Gold Bond Cream.
Gold Bond medicated anti-itch cream. Itch relief that starts to work on contact. And a recent clinical study showed at 10 minutes, Gold Bond Cream provided more effective itch relief than Cortisone 10. And Gold Bond Cream contains 2 medically proven pain relievers not found in Cortisone 10.
Gold Bond Cream gave fast relief from itching and burning.
Try Gold Bond medicated anti-itch cream. Use as directed.
What's better than a good thing? How about twice as much of it? Bring any size roll of film to Kmart this Wednesday or Saturday, and you can get 2 sets of prints for the price of 1. They're big 4-inch prints, too. Of course, you wouldn't want 2 bad prints in any size, so you'll like Kmart's goof-proof policy. You only pay for the ones you keep. Double 4-inch prints at Kmart. You can't get too much of a good thing.
Everything we do spins around you.
Dr. Burkholder, I'm feeling pretty low. My girlfriend isn't talking to me.
Really? Here, look at these ink blots. What do you see?
12 butterflies nibbling on an ice cream cone. Doctor, what does this have to do with my girlfriend?
Everything. You're not drooling. That's a bad sign.
There's a better way to solve your problems. Every weekday at noon, catch Dr. Laura on The Buzz, 100.7 FM. It's real-life advice for real-life assholes.
I've had it. I'm catching Dr. Laura on The Buzz.
Come back. You forgot your dream journal.
I'm Tom Shane, and in my lifetime, I've made well over 100 trips to Antwerp, Belgium, in order to get the best diamonds in the world. By importing diamonds directly, I've saved our customers millions of dollars, as well as letting them benefit in choosing from top-quality diamonds in all sizes and shapes. As I frequently buy from the same cutters in Antwerp, they know that I'm a serious buyer. I examine every stone and pay immediately for each one I buy. I don't want credit from my suppliers. Instead, I want them to offer me first chance to buy every stone they cut, and at the lowest possible cash price. To judge how well I buy, compare our prices at the Shane Company with any retail jeweler. If they weren't bought like they were, we couldn't sell them at the prices we do.
Now you can buy from a direct diamond importer, the Shane Company, corner of 4th and Stewart. Open Monday through Friday till 8, Saturday and Sunday till 5. Park free at a diamond lot with every purchase.
Hey, it's summer. The nights are long and hot. Well, I mean sometimes. I mean the nights are long, but it's not always hot. And sometimes even cool. After all, this is Seattle. Am I digressing? Yeah, I guess so. What was I going to talk about? Oh, yeah, the Buzz 100.7 FM and their evening lineup. It all starts off at 7 with Dr. Laura. Then at 10, it's Jim Bohannon. And for those late nights when it's hot and you can't sleep and you got nothing to read and you're tired of counting sheep, it's Tom Leykis at 1 a.m. So stick around, because the Buzz is going on all day long right here on 100.7 FM.
Start your weekday morning off right with Pat Cashman and the Morning Show. Weekdays from 5 to 9 here on The Buzz, 100.7 FM.
Minutes after the hour, the Tom Leykis Show. Thanks for tuning in. If you live in Southern California, anywhere in Southern California, or maybe you want to fly in for this, I don't know, but we are having a Southern California listener party because we have not done one of these. And you're invited, but there's only a limited number of people who are going to get in. It's going to be held on Thursday, the 17th of August at Gotham Hall in Santa Monica on the 3rd Street Promenade. Now, there'll be no cover charge. Rhino Chasers beer will be on tap for $1 a beer if you're 21 or older. And we love Rhino Chasers around here. They brought a bunch over, and we approved, okay? That was the deal. This is going to be a lot of fun. There's pool tables. Dooley is going to be there. Who knows? Maybe we can get him to drag his CDs and play some music. I don't know. We'll find out. We're still figuring all of this out. They've got a fine dining restaurant, a dance floor. They got a huge bar. It's going to be a blast. No cover charge, but you got to be one of the people on the guest list. If you want to call us, we're taking down names and phone numbers, and a limited number of people will be selected to be at our party. If you'd like to be among the minions, you call this number now, 310-840-4400. 310-840-4400. Do not call any other telephone number. Do not fax us. Do not call the network. Do not call the radio station you're listening to. Do not call any of them. 310-840-4400. Okay, there. We just like doing this because the listeners write to us, say they want to get together and hang, and that's what we're going to do. I'll be there. Braverman will be there. Dooley will be there. We'll bring over a few more members of our vast staff here. And it'll be a blast. And Dooley does not get to go to these events because they're usually in other cities. So it's the first time we're doing one in L.A. So we'll see you on the 17th of August, 310-840-4400. Okay. 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. Your telephone calls Jenny, first-time caller from Chico, California. You're on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi. I just wanted to say that I'll miss Jerry a whole lot, and the whole reason behind it, the inspiration is definitely the music.
What does it inspire you to?
Well, it inspires me to see how that many people can get together, and most of the time there's no trouble. Everybody can get along really good, and it's really great.
It's great, but what about the music? What is it about the music?
Mainly for me, it's the improvisation that things happen as they happen. They don't have everything planned out, and in most concerts that I go see, it's not like that. Everything.
Isn't that true with jazz?
Yeah, it is, but it's different with.
Why is it different with the Grateful Dead? You're listening to yourself on the radio, Jenny, and you're going to get confused. You got to turn that off. You got to turn it off.
Turn it off. Why is it different?
Yeah. What's the difference between the Grateful Dead and jazz? Why is the Grateful Dead so much more spellbinding than jazz?
I couldn't really say. It's just so spontaneous.
But even though jazz is spontaneous, you wouldn't go see jazz, but you'd go see the Grateful Dead.
I do listen to jazz too, but
you're not a fanatic for it.
No, and I think that the Grateful Dead talk about a lot of interesting stuff.
Like
love, life, being together.
And it's unique?
Yes, it is, definitely.
In what sense?
I don't know. Maybe it's just because that's the best music I've experienced live.
Okay. Jenny, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate the call. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Let's say hi to Allison, a first-time caller from Bellingham, Washington. You're on the Tom Leykis Show. Hi, Allison.
Hi.
What's up?
I've been to one show, and I feel that everybody should probably go. I always thought, I told everybody I knew you should go and experience the Dead at least once.
And I did that too.
Okay. And I don't, I don't get the music so much, but it was the total atmosphere. Everybody was really friendly, and I remember in the parking lot there were Hare Krishnas selling, giving away food, and everybody was lined up, and I thought it was really cute because they were playing instruments, and one of them had what is it called? A keyboard. And so it was like a lounge act. It was really funny.
The Hare Krishnas were there?
Yeah.
Aren't the Hare Krishnas opposed to drug use?
I don't know, but I just thought it was funny, really funny, because it was like a Hare Krishna lounge act. It was hysterical.
How bizarre.
But what I also remember is that I was hanging around with a bunch of people, and somebody had lost a wallet, and one of the people I was with said, hey, you know what, I go by that way, I'll go and drop it off. And I thought that was so nice. I mean, where else do you see that? And I really believed them that they were going that direction and they were going to find the house and drop it off for the person.
But what about the music, Allison?
Well, I said I don't get it, but...
So the music was irrelevant?
Yeah.
I mean, they could hold a Grateful Dead concert without Jerry Garcia.
No. The music made the people, it made the atmosphere.
Even though you don't think it was great music?
It was okay. I enjoyed it as much as I enjoy, anything else.
Wait a minute. It was okay doesn't sound like the biggest grossing concert act of 1994. It was okay.
It was okay. Doable.
It was okay.
It was fun, and nobody would have been there otherwise,
Well, they're all showing up at Griffith Park in Los Angeles tonight.
Yeah, because...
Maybe it'll be like a Dead concert.
Paying homage,
Without the music.
Well, they'll probably be playing it.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah, they probably will.
And all the people will be together, and that's what will make the atmosphere.
Allison, thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate the call. Jerry Garcia died today at 53, what they call natural causes. It's rumored he had a heart attack. He was in a drug rehab center in Northern California, Marin County. And we're getting your reaction to that and the Grateful Dead. I just didn't get it myself. By the way, don't forget our party if you're in Southern California. Thursday, August 17th, 310-840-4400.
The Tom Leykis Show.
Good afternoon. I'm Brian Gregory with the Buzz headlines. Federal health officials want young adults to get their measles shots a second time. Officials warned today that an estimated 3 million 20 to 37-year-olds are at risk of catching measles. It's because they never got a second dose of the vaccine. Security was tightened today at airports around the country, including SeaTac. The Federal Aviation Administration ordered the alert, the first since the Gulf War, but details of exactly why are unclear. Now with the Buzz on traffic and weather, here's Sue Romero.
Just one blocking prompt to let you know about right now. It's an accident on the Falls City Redmond Road 202. That's State Route 202 at State Route 203, blocking that intersection. Otherwise, on the main line of I-5 in either direction, that's not doing too badly. Southbound out of downtown flows nicely till you get to the I-90 merge, and you bog down a bit. Northbound I-5 slows out of downtown up to 520 because eastbound 520 now backed up onto I-5. Now the Buzz on weather for this afternoon, sunny and warmer with highs in the upper 70s. Right now it's 74. This report is a service of Preparation H. If you take hemorrhoids seriously, and you should, you need a serious medicine. Preparation H provides effective relief from hemorrhoidal symptoms, and it's used more than all other name brands combined. But hey, use only as directed. I'm Sue Romero for The Buzz.
If you're involved with business, you know that every day is a battle. Every business day produces winners and losers. You need every advantage you can get to win consistently. Over 40,000 business people have discovered a unique business advantage that increases their time efficiency and keeps them better informed. That business advantage is the KIRO Radio News Fax. The News Fax offers business people one-page summarized news briefs on 9 different news topics, ranging from local business and sports to international events. The News Fax is delivered to your fax machine in the morning and for free. 5 minutes with the Radio News Fax from KIRO in the morning gives you all the information you need to compete successfully in business each day without having to spend an hour with the paper. In business, time is money. For a free subscription to the KIRO Radio News Fax, please call 1-800-417-NEWS. That's 1-800-417-NEWS. To be smart, quickly.
Ever hear the saying, there's no guarantees in life? At Computer City, we have a store full of them. At Computer City, you not only get guaranteed great selection, you get it with guaranteed great prices. That means you never have to worry about finding all the latest products you want at the price you want. Because if you find a lower price within 30 days, we'll refund the difference. And at Computer City, guaranteed great prices means great throughout the store. See store for details. Like the AST Advantage 4066D all-in-one multimedia system with quad-speed CD-ROM, 540 meg hard drive, and 14-inch monitor, just $1,399. Computer City. In Tukwila, Kirkland, Tacoma, and now open in the Aurora Village Shopping Center in Aurora. You can't make a wrong decision when you go to the right store.
Computer City guarantees to beat any competitor's printed advertising selling price on any identical item provided we are in stock on that item at the time of the competitor's advertisement. Offer excludes coupons, clearance, percent and dollars discount, special promotions, and going out of business sales.
You pick up a payphone, you dial a number, and you anxiously wait to hear the sound of a familiar voice. And instead, you get... Oh, that is major annoying because you know it's just another no-name phone company messing with your call. Want to make sure your card call always goes through? Know the code. Dial 1-800-CALL-ATT.
For card calls, you'll always get through to AT&T if you know the code. Dial 1-800-CALL-ATT. That's your true choice. AT&T.
If you are looking for a good return on a CD, stop at Continental Savings Bank. You'll earn 6.10 annual percentage yield on a one-year CD with a deposit of $25,000 or more. Plus, you'll get the kind of personalized service that will pleasantly surprise you. So stop and find out for yourself. FDIC insured and an equal housing lender. Early withdrawal penalty may apply. This Continental Savings Bank 6.10% APY offer expires August 11th, 1995.
This is talk radio with attitude. Get used to it, folks. It's the Tom Leykis Show.
26 minutes before the hour. The Tom Leykis Show. Thanks for tuning in. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Jerry Garcia, dead today at 53. And we were talking about the Grateful Dead and why people cared so much about them. Just trying to understand. 1-800-5800-866 is our telephone number. John, first-time caller from Thousand Palms, California. You're on the Tom Leykis Show. Hi, John.
Hello, Tom.
What's up?
Hi, I've been listening to you for a while, but I've been listening to the Dead for a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm.
I've only been to 8 shows, and it is pretty much the music that is the main attraction for me. I mean, I do enjoy the festival atmosphere and the way people are to each other when it's not really the pressures of the normal world. It's kind of a nice place to be. A lot of improvisational jamming. They never did the same show twice, never did the same song the same way every twice.
But it was always good?
No, not always. There were nights when they were off. And as Jerry said himself, he admitted he was only as good as his last show. I mean, they've jammed with pretty much everyone from Branford Marsalis, Bob Dylan, Chuck Berry. It is primarily the music.
My understanding about Jerry Garcia is that he didn't take the Grateful Dead nearly as seriously as the fans did.
You're probably right about that. I have an interview with another member, Bobby, who says, I don't know, it bugs him that a lot of what we listen to is mainly them. I also collect tapes of live concerts, bootlegs.
Mm-hmm.
There's hundreds and hundreds of hours of those tapes out there. That's why there's not so much record sales. Because people trade tapes. I have tapes that somebody else doesn't have, and we trade them.
Uh-huh.
And so we get bigger tape collections of
Why were they able to sell so many in 1987?
well, because they did a video, and it's the MTV mentality. If it's on MTV, somebody's going to buy it.
Uh-huh.
How
did Dead fans feel about the Dead having a hit record and a video?
Well, they did it their way, and they only did one. So it's not a bad thing. It was a good video. They did it in their hometown. I believe it was recorded, or at the Warfield. I believe the video was recorded, and it was with fans, and so it was just, it was them doing what they did. Just, I don't know why they did it, but it was acceptable. They didn't overdo it like a lot of people do and try to live on MTV.
Mm-hmm.
Their still main attraction was going to the concerts and listening to the music live.
Interesting. John, thank you.
Hey, can I say one thing?
Sure.
Our love for Jerry, our love for you will not fade away.
All right, thanks a lot. Dave, a first-time caller from Bellingham, Washington. You're on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi, Tom. How you doing?
Okay.
I was listening to your program, and I felt that I had to kind of contribute a little bit. I knew Jerry for about 20 years when I was living in Marin County, and I knew every member of the band and some other bands that also lived in the same neighborhood, and he was a very complex individual. He had 3 bands, He had the New Riders of the Purple Sage, then later on he had the Jerry Garcia Band and the Grateful Dead. Jerry Garcia Band, though, happened to be a jazz-type ensemble, and he preferred to play that over the Grateful Dead. He was a very quiet person. First time that I had ever heard of him having a heart problem was in 1966 when he was playing in the Avalon in San Francisco. And so it was an inevitable thing that he would have died. He set some very precedential things about music. During the day when all the commercial bands were playing 3-minute songs and then going to another one, he would do long sets. Hence, groups like Hendrix, Airplane, New Riders, Stones, Joplin, Santana all started to adopt his style and to play longer sets.
In many of those cases, only briefly before they, like the Stones, for example, went right back to what they always did. Which
well, that's true, yeah. But see, they had their commercial interests at heart more than Jerry Garcia. One of the reasons he never made any money was because he gave it away. And in Marin, I know of at least 10 concerts that he gave for free to benefit the school district for various things and to benefit homeless people and things like that. And so they weren't concerned with the money. They liked the party atmosphere. And so at Altamont and Woodstock, when they played, they were a big hit. When the Stones came on the stage, there was a big fight broke out. When Garcia came on the stage, the fight stopped.
And why do you think that was?
Because he had a command of his audience. He was a gentle person. He talked gently. He wasn't one of these people that carried an entourage of gun-toting thugs around with him. He just had a bunch of his friends. And so it was a less hostile atmosphere to begin with. And as I remember it, I'd meet him at the Silver Dollar or the Navi's in Fairfax, which was a local bar. And on Sundays, sometimes they'd go in and do an impromptu concert on Sunday nights. I mean, this was not your ordinary rock and rollers. And I actually will never forget, the times that I spent with those guys. By the way, the theme song for the new Twilight Zone, that's Grateful Dead.
Yes.
The music for Apocalypse Now, the drum solos, that was Grateful Dead. They didn't enforce their copyrights. They had a lot of logos that they allowed the general public to reproduce and to sell at the concerts. So there wasn't that kind of a money atmosphere. Again, too, that's probably why he didn't have any money. But he also played a lot of his older stuff, even though he had new albums out. A lot of the commercial bands wouldn't do that. They'd play one song and that'd be the end of it. But he had some of his most famous that he always did, which was like Truckin' and stuff like that. And the people listen to that. It's the same as you guys in Southern California listen to the songs from the Beach Boys. It brings back the nostalgia of the time. And basically, the band started in the Bay Area, and it spread from there. And people, basically in the Bay Area, like me, I'm almost 50 years old. Whenever I hear a Grateful Dead song, I could go right back to the time that in 1966, you know. I listened to the Beach Boys. It moves me, but nowhere near what listen to Dead. Hence, by the way, because of the length of all of his material, not very many commercial radio stations would play it because his stuff was too long. And so it's only in the last 20 years that I've heard any of his music being played on commercial airways, you know. And I think he was a wonderful man. I knew him. He was soft-spoken. He was gentle. He wasn't what a lot of people would think. He wasn't a big drug head. Believe it or not, he had a problem with drinking. That was his biggest problem. And that has always been his problem. And he took drugs, but his big problem was with the booze. It had nothing to do with the
especially if you're a diabetic.
Well, yeah, well, he is.
That's a terrible combination.
He had more than that, too. He had Crohn's disease, too.
Yeah.
And so, you know, Jerry was very aware of these things, but they told him that he wasn't going to live till he was 40 years old. And he did that a little bit better. So I would say this, you know, there's a lot of artists in this country, including Mickey Mantle, that are paying the price for their substance abuse. And,
who we've also talked about on this show.
That's right, but basically it's the same story.
Yeah, it is, too.
It doesn't matter what you're talented in. If you start messing with chemicals, that's the end of your life.
What is it? Now, let me ask you one more last question, Dave, and it's just your opinion, okay? What is it about creative people, I don't care if it's Mickey Mantle or Jerry Garcia or Jimi Hendrix or who it is, what is it about being creative that makes people want to abuse drugs to that extent or alcohol or whatever?
I think I know where it comes from, being lonely. You go out on the road, and it's a lonely life. I worked as a roadie for a number of San Francisco bands. And when you go out on the road for like 200 days, the only people you have around you is the people you work with, and that's why you end up taking the chemicals.
Interesting. Dave, great call. Thank you.
You bet.
I appreciate it.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. This is very interesting. And as I said at the beginning of this segment of the show, I just wanted to understand. I'm not trying to be derisive. I'm not here to attack Jerry Garcia or the Grateful Dead. I've just never understood it. And I'm trying to understand it. 17 minutes before the hour. My name is Tom Leykis. Stay right there.
What are you doing Labor Day weekend? Well, tune in to HBO to see the concert of the century. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and Museum is finally opening in Cleveland, Ohio. And the kickoff is a great concert featuring everybody from Alice in Chains to Booker T and the MGs, from Chuck Berry to Soul Asylum, with Bruce Springsteen thrown in for good measure and a lot of other people.
In my opinion, they are just a bunch of ego trippers.
Hang on a second, Mike. Jim in Isla Vista, California. You don't agree with Mike. Why not?
You're an idiot. Mike, you are a pure idiot, man. How many times have you been ripped off at the shows, bud? Huh? Let me tell you something. I went to a show in Las Vegas recently, and it was a windy day, and I found a ticket on the ground. I could have walked around and profited and sold it, but no, I found someone who didn't have enough money for a ticket and gave it to them. You know, there's a negative element to any group of people you find anywhere. Republicans, Democrats, deadheads, classical music heads, right-wing Republicans, or your militia heads. You can find any negative element in any group of people, but deadheads on a whole are usually a very gentle, nice people. Some of them are kind of grungy. Yeah, some of them need to take a shower. Yeah, definitely. I've been there. Been to a lot of shows, my friend. I'm also a very successful person, and I don't take drugs at the shows.
Well, I don't. You are a perfect
I can hear a word he's saying.
You're a perfect example for what I'm talking about. You start off this conversation by calling me an idiot. Is that positive? Is that non-judgmental? You're using this peace and love thing as a
I can't hear
your own judgmentalness and your own criticism. You know, you want to be down on people who aren't deadheads, and you're just an example of what I'm talking about.
All right, hang on a second here, Mike. I'm going to put you guys on the same line here, so we can hear both of you. Can we do that? Let's try this. All right. Go ahead, Mike. Say that again.
Well, I just said that this person that am I talking to someone else?
No, you're talking to me.
Is there someone else on the line?
No,
yes.
Steve.
Okay. He is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. They use this peace and love thing as a front for their own psychological games. He starts off the conversation by calling me an idiot, which is not in any way loving, accepting, peaceful, anything like that.
What kind of game?
Because I'm not a deadhead.
Mike, what kind of game are you talking about?
This is what you find. They feel that anybody who's not a deadhead, who doesn't look like they just rolled out of a dumpster, as some kind of creep, and they pit fair game for their name calling and their judgmentalness.
I'm hearing you call people names. I'm hearing you
I can't
say
hear
that
anyone
they're
else.
all into it, except for some small element, is into it to rip people off and play games with you. And I want to know what kind of games have people played with you? Because I've been to many shows. I've known very many people who've gone to the shows, and I've never known there to be games. People who, there is an element of some people who feel that, yeah, they're like calling, they're going to some higher calling because they follow the dead, and other people don't, but that's their own problem. Don't lump everybody in with that. I'm a professional dude. I own my own business. My girlfriend is a PhD student in psychology. She goes to the shows and enjoys them very much without drugs, you know, and we've been going to the shows for a long time, man, 10 years. You know, what games are you talking about? What people are ripping you off?
Maybe you keep making a point that you don't do drugs, and I personally don't feel there's anything wrong with recreational use of drugs.
Well, what do they do that you object to? I mean, other than some of them who may feel have an ego problem, what is the problem with a bunch of people getting together, dressing how they feel, and doing what they like?
The problem is that the whole trip is supposed to be one of togetherness and of lack of separation, and all you find are these people.
Who said it's supposed to be something? Does that what it say on the ticket, dude? It says it's a concert.
What's that?
It says it's a concert. That's all you get on the ticket. It doesn't say it's some love-in. It doesn't say it's some peace fest. There's a lot of myth that goes with what the Grateful Dead are. There's a lot of rumor about what the Grateful Dead are. And this really isn't exactly what I wanted to tell Tom about. I wanted to explain what the phenomena was, why some people get it.
All right, Jim, I'll let you wrap up with that. Go for it.
Okay, why some people get it is music has always had an emotional quality to it. We say music is sad. That was a sad song, and it was a happy jingle. There are properties to music that affect the physiological and the psychological aspects that we don't understand yet, and as well, when accompanied with very powerful psychoactive drugs, these emotions are great that people feel. The first time I saw them, I was 17 years old, my first acid trip. Boy, I wanted to just take off on the road and go, but after a while of doing things like this, I realized that wasn't the real life, and I had to get myself together. Now I enjoy owning my own business so I can make money and go see the shows. I've seen a dozen of them this year, and I have a very enjoyable time, and you're talking about describing an intangible. It's very hard to describe why people like what they like, but the fact is they do, and as last I checked, this was America, and we were allowed to pursue these things.
Thank you, Jim and Mike. We appreciate the calls. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. 7 minutes before the hour. My name is Tom Leykis.
You're listening to the Tom Leykis Show.
What's better than a good thing? How about twice as much of it? Bring any size roll of film to Kmart this Wednesday or Saturday, and you can get 2 sets of prints for the price of 1. They're big 4-inch prints, too. Of course, you wouldn't want 2 bad prints in any size, so you'll like Kmart's